Sal Greco is next. Sal?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you to the people of Ruperts Landing for an opportunity to present myself as a candidate for Collingwood Council. You may have noticed I'm the candidate without no ties. With 20 years of business experience and volunteer experience in Collingwood, you may know me as a past council member, a member of the town council committees, or a volunteer for our service clubs, our hospital, and churches. I'm a strong believer in Collingwood's tremendous potential, and I need your vote because I want to make Collingwood a better place to live and visit. I bring a forward vision to Collingwood Council. The question I wish to answer is number 4. That's the new hospital. This is a priority with me. I am certain also a priority with many Ruperts Landing residents. Let's establish a healthcare campus aligned with the new popular side road hospital with Georgian College. Over the past year, a number of people have asked me to run for council. One of their shared concerns was the need for a councillor to champion for a new hospital development on the popular side road site. But more than that, I spoke to a couple of doctors and they said to me, Sal, why just a new hospital? A new hospital providing new services will need more healthcare workers and healthcare support staff with specialized skills. Where are these people? If we are building a new hospital, Sal, we need to create a healthcare campus aligned with Georgian College and the new hospital to train healthcare providers. That doctor is thinking big. A healthcare campus would train people to care and serve our residents when we need medical attention. A healthcare campus for training and educating is totally consistent with my number 1 priority, to grow and protect our local economy. That's right, train people in Collingwood so they can work here in Collingwood and support the local economy. In closing, I believe town council should reflect the positive energy our residents, new and old, and it's time for a renewal at council. Please elect me, Sal Greco, as your councillor. It's time for a candidate without ties. Thank you.
Are there any questions for Sal?
I'm very surprised you're the first guy to bring in the hospital. The hospital has been an issue, I think, ever since I've been coming to Collingwood, since the 60s. It's outdated, it's old, and the province has promised many times to enlarge the hospital, bring in more services and stuff like that. Why isn't it an issue for the rest of council?
Well, I can't talk for them, but I know my priority because I know about the hospital, and we need to meet with Christine Elliott, Minister of Health, the Premier, Doug Ford, and Jim Wilson, and get things moving quickly.
Okay, next on the list for council is Kathy Jeffery.
So good morning, and thank you very much for this opportunity. I chose question 10 to spend my 3 minutes on this morning. I've really never been posed that question, and it caused me to do some just looking inside and seeing how I would answer it. So the short answer is no, yes, depends.
What is the question?
So number 10 is about change. Collingwood is changing, and are you? So in explaining the no response, the phrase that came to mind was the more things change, the more they stay the same. So our town's demographics are changing, our town's growth pressure is significant, the demands on the town's physical and human resources are higher than ever before. And when I came back onto council in 2014, the financial health of our town was a 3 out of 10, so barely a pulse. So the current council's done a terrific job in getting things turned around. But these changes require that I stay steadfast and focused in bringing my experience, my commitment, and work ethic to the role of councillor at every turn. I am honest, I base my decisions on fact and resident input. I base them on what is best for the community, not what gets votes or seeks revenge or benefits specific individuals. That hasn't and will not change. These changes require that I continue to network with peer municipalities all across Canada to seek out best practices, local solutions, and other funding opportunities to bring to Council for their consideration to help us on our road to recovery and success. That hasn't and will not change. But I also said yes. During this term of Council, I became a grandmother twice. And and actually with the third grandchild on the way any week now. I can tell you what has changed in me. I no longer think in terms of what Collingwood will be for our youth, my adult married children, but what it will be for my grandchildren and their children. The phrase then came to mind was one, we must all plant a tree we will never sit under. Never have I been so sure of the importance of improved infrastructure, attainable housing, clean air, clean water, food security, climate change initiatives, of making things easier, better, and more affordable for our generation and generations to follow. And finally, depends. The one constant is my willingness to listen to the view of all residents. And we are blessed with a lot of people who like to give us their input. So the input through current council's initiatives, the community-based strategic plan, the economic development plan, the waterfront master plan, and more recently the Parks and Rec master plan. And my measurement as to how successful we are and how we move forward depends on the people of our town and their input into our future plans. Please vote Kathy Jeffery. Thank you.
You're welcome to take another minute if you'd like. There are no questions.
No, I think I tried to get everything in my 3 minutes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Oh, there was a question. Sorry, I missed it. There you go.
Well, since your experience, could you tell me what percentage of the Collingwood budget goes to support the arts, and how that percentage compares to other municipalities? And if you could, which particular areas that money is going to?
I don't have specific numbers, but you asked the right former councillor. I was an advocate and a champion of the group of 25 who managed to secure finally staffing for arts and culture within our structure. And I can tell you not enough money goes into art and culture. I always thought that our parks money is generated through development fees and development in Collingwood, and I always think that art and culture should also have at least 1% or a percentage to put towards being able to develop more art and culture in Collingwood. So I'm a big proponent. I couldn't agree with you more. We have to continue to look for ways to make that better.
And first up of those 3 is Bob Madigan.
Going to use your fancy dancy homemade.
Oh, good.
This is tremendous. You guys put a lot of effort into this, so I want to make sure that it gets used, and I want to make sure that it makes it on the video. I'm going to firstly speak about choices. Choices matter, and some matter more than others. With the number of people here today running for council, this is a very tough but important decision, and you might not know who to vote for at all, and I don't blame you for that. You might think that all potential politicians are the same, but they're not. They shouldn't be. They're not, because what they do with your money matters. Like all businesses channel their profits through to their shareholders, your elected officials should do the same. The only difference is our town is not a business. Our town should be treated like a public trust. You entrust us to use your money for the best of our community, and we shouldn't waste a penny. Good politicians can have a massive impact on our community, and they know that local matters. And that local is where we live, work, and play. Collingwood has adopted that. Couldn't ask for a better thing for our town to represent. It is a place of our homes, our children's homes. Our money needs to stay here. So vote for somebody worthy. Vote for someone who makes an investment in our community, because it matters. Choose to be part of something bigger, not just something big. Choose to have an equal voice. Choose based on your values, your principles, your community. Choose local. Please choose me. This is why some choices matter more. Our town has a lot of success in it. And that comes from having successful people here. Success comes from hard work and intelligence. Intelligence comes from knowledge. We have to figure out how to tap the knowledge that's here in our community to make it even better. That should be all of our plan, and I think it is. Hi, I am Bob. We were introduced, and I'm using this fancy dancy thing. I'm 46 years old. I'm a father of 2, and I've had a business in Collingwood since I was 19. A long time. And I'm at a perfect time in my life. My kids are gone. My daughter's 22. They're queens, just graduated. My son is 20, working within our community. When I was growing up in Collingwood, Collingwood has changed, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. I remember 9,500 people on the sign, and we would always say, there's got to be more people than 9,500 people living in Collingwood. Look at all this people. And since then, we've doubled. We're designated a growth node, which means change is going to happen, and unfortunately, we don't have a choice. And I think council should and will fight that in the next one, because we don't want the province to tell us that we're going to overpopulate this area. We need to protect what brought every one of you here and what kept people like me here. I've had businesses just about a fall all over Ontario, and I've been luckily successful. Lucky is a key word there, but I've chosen to come back home and stay home. I've chosen to raise my kids here because I was raised here. Collingwood is a great place to live, to grow up. It is the reason why many of you who weren't born and raised here came here, and I love that. People have always said, you're not local, but you are. A day, a week, a month, you're here. Thank you.
Hi, Bob.
How are you?
Great, thank you. Could you please spend a little more time on question number 1, in Collingwood's diverse population, et cetera, how do you come to address the priorities of this very growing population?
All right, well, that was actually answered quite eloquently by Mr. Trude, and I don't want to piggyback on that, but I believe that everyone that is here has the same ambition, whether they're 20, whether they're 40, or whether they're 60. They're here for a reason. They want to stay here. It's a lifestyle choice. They've chosen to move here for all the amenities that Collingwood has to offer. So one of the biggest things was understanding that what's important to one group wasn't important to another. And my time on council has given me one thing, and one thing that I love is the experience to realize that just because it's not important to one group, it is important to another. With the amount of people coming here, we have to change. We don't have a choice, but we have to listen to every one of them. That's why I said that knowledge is power, and we have so much knowledge here, and we need to reach out to our leaders within Ontario. There's probably people in here that were ridiculously successful in life that have the energy to help us, but they don't have the conduit to do that. So openness, activeness. Somebody asked this morning about who do you call? You should be able to call every one of the councillors that you have and ask them any question that you want. We're all here for you, everyone that's elected. Thank you.